First and foremost, we praise the Most High, Ahaya, YAHSHALLA, say amen.
Amen.
Amen. And we're going to go into Sabbaths. A lot of people, they say that they keep the Shabbat holy, but they don't keep all the Sabbaths. So we're going to go into that and show based upon precept, based upon scripture, that there's more than one Sabbath that you have to keep. So we're going to start the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 6 through 9. It says, "The law of truth was in his mouth, and equity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity." 7 says, "The priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the Torah at his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Most High of hosts." 8 says, "But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the Torah. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Most High of hosts." 9 says, "Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, according as ye have not kept my ways, but have been partial in the Torah." You see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go to Leviticus 26 and verse 2. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Leviticus 26 and verse 2. And it says, "Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary."
You see that? You shall keep my what?
Sabbaths.
Sabbaths. That's plural. That's more than one. Read it one more time.
"Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary.
Keep going.
I am the Most High."
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Down. Keep going down.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Okay. This is 3, and it says, "If ye walk in my statutes
Mm-hmm.
and keep my commandments
Mm-hmm.
and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the tree of the field shall yield her fruit."
Mm-hmm. Go down to 9. Go to 9.
Okay. This is 9. And it says, "For I will have respect unto you,
You see that? The Most High said he will have respect unto you. Keep going.
and make you fruitful, and multiply you,
Mm-hmm.
and establish my covenant with you."
And he will establish his covenant with you. The way that the Most High God will establish his covenant with you is if you first make a choice to go under his covenant. Keep going.
"And ye shall eat old store,
Mm-hmm.
and bring forth the old because of the new.
Mm-hmm.
And I will set my tabernacle among you,
Right?
and my soul shall not abhor you."
You see that? That's huge. The Most High God said he will not hate you. Abhor means to hate.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? The Most High God said he will not hate you if you don't hate him. See, a lot of people, they say that they keep the Shabbat holy, or they keep the Sabbath. They keep the Friday to Saturday sundown Sabbath, but they don't keep the feast of the Most High God. And we're going to show precept upon precept that you got to keep the feast of the Most High, because it's more than one Sabbath. Okay, keep going.
"And I will walk among you,
Mm-hmm.
and will be your Elohim,
Mm-hmm.
and ye shall be my people."
That's right. Let's go to Romans 2 and 13. As a matter of fact, before we go to Romans, go to Leviticus 23 and 26.
Okay.
24, excuse me.
So Leviticus 24.
23 and 24.
4. Okay.
So we're going to show just one of the other Sabbaths that you have to keep. Because if you keep one, you need to keep all of them. Because, and let me show something just real quick. Let's go to, hold that, and I'm going to go to Exodus real quick.
Okay.
So we're going to go to Exodus chapter 20. And verse 8 says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Shabbat of Ahaya thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Shabbat and hallowed it. So this is the law on the Sabbath, right? That's the end of week Sabbath is the first ceremonial feast that we have to keep. Okay. Now watch this. Let's go to Leviticus 23 and 24. Go ahead.
And it says, and the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Hold on. Let's establish something. Who spoke unto Moshe?
The Most High.
The Most High said this. Keep going.
He said, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath.
So you have a what?
A Sabbath.
A Sabbath. Keep going.
A memorial of blowing of trumpets.
You see that? So that's not the end of week Sabbath, but it is a Sabbath.
What
You
is
see
it?
that?
The seventh what?
Read it again.
In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
Beautiful. Now, the one thing about it is the word Shabbat or Sabbath just means rest. Okay? So that means we have to rest from doing the things that we want to do, like to do, have to do, right? And we have to do what the Most High God said. Let me go to Isaiah real quick, and I'm going to show you something. Because most people, whenever you talk about the Sabbath, they only think about the end of week Sabbath. But we cannot be partial in the Torah. If we're going to keep one Sabbath, we need to keep all of them. Let's see. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13 and 14 says, If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. See? So now we're coming under the understanding that there's more than just one holy day. You see that? It says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy of the Most High honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. 14 says, then shalt thou delight thyself in Ahiah, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High hath spoken it. So these are things that the Most High said you have to do. It's not me, it's not anybody else, it's the Most High. You see? Okay, let's go to Romans 2 and 13. Okay. Because it makes no sense to say that you're going to follow the Most High God, that you're going to keep the Sabbath if you don't keep all of them. Keep going.
It says, Romans 2 and 13. For not the hearers of the law.
For not the what?
The hearers of the law.
Meaning the ones that's just listening. Keep going.
Are just before the Most High. But the doers of the law shall be justified.
But the doers, the ones that do what the Most High God said, those are the ones that's going to be justified. You understand? Let's go to Romans 8, 3 and 4.
Okay. And it says, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, the Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh.
Right. Read that one more time. I want to show something.
Okay.
Watch this.
For what the law could not do.
Because see, watch this. I'm going to show something. Now we're going to establish that there's differences in the law. Okay. There are different types of law within the law. Okay, go ahead.
In that it was weak through the flesh.
Now, what flesh are they talking about? Most people think that whenever it says weak in the flesh, that you're talking about our flesh. Okay. You understand? But we're going to show. Keep going.
The Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh.
In the flesh. Now watch this. We're going to show something, because this is what you got to understand. This is where people this is where people mess up. This is not saying that the Torah or the law is done away with. A portion of law has been done away with. Okay, so now we're going to read something. This is Hebrews chapter 10. It says, for the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices, okay, which they offered year by year continually, make the comers thereunto perfect. You see that? 2 says, for then would they not have ceased. What does it mean if something is ceased?
Stop.
It's stopped. You see that? It says, for then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have had no more conscience of sins. Watch this. But in those what? Sacrifices. You see that? Watch this. There is a remembrance again made of sins every year. Watch what 4 says. For it is not possible. Remember what they said. That weak flesh. Remember that, okay? 4 says, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins. So now, what flesh are they talking about? The flesh of bulls, right? And of goats. That's the flesh that's weak. You understand? Now, watch this. We're going to show something. It's 4 different types of law, okay? You have moral law, right? And all of this is contained in the Torah. You have moral law, you have dietary law, you have ceremonial law, and you have sacrificial law, right? It's 4 types of law within the Torah. You understand? So now, what portion of law has been done away with? Sacrificial law has been done away with, right? Let's read this one more time. 4 says, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins. You got that? Let's go to Romans 8, 3 and 4.
Okay. This is Romans 8, 3 and 4, and it says, for what the law could not do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go to Psalms 119.
Okay.
And verse 72. 172.
Okay.
119 and 72.
119, verse 172. Watch this. Because now, even though the sacrificial portion of the Torah has been done away with because of the coming of the Mashiach, we still have to fulfill the righteousness of the Torah. You understand? Okay, go ahead.
And it says, my tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness.
You see that? Read it one more time.
My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness.
All thy commandments are righteousness. That's just like whenever we go back to Malachi real quick. Hold on. We're going to show something. Where it says, this is Malachi 2 and 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the Torah at his mouth. What did you read again? Read it again.
My tongue shall keep, so speak of thy words.
Yes.
For all thy commandments are righteousness.
All thy commandments are righteousness. You see that? So whenever you speak, the scriptures say that a man of the Most High should speak the oracles of the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? Not going up speaking his own thing, not going up making jokes and all that other foolishness, but speaking the oracles of Christ, speaking the secrets and the mysteries of the word of the Most High God. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to Psalms 119 and 60.
Okay. And it says, I made haste and delayed not to keep the commandments.
You see that? Now that's a huge part. We, as the B'nai Ha Elohim, or the sons of the Most High God, we can't delay. We have to be at haste to do the word of the Most High God. Once we know something, the scriptures say, turn at my reproof. Read that one more time.
I made haste and delayed not to keep the commandments.
I made haste and delayed not to keep the commandments of the Most High God. A lot of people that they might hear the word, they might hear what the Most High would have them to do, but then they're slothful. And you know, that's one of the 7 deadly sins is sloth. We cannot be slothful in doing what the Most High God would have us to do. We have to make haste and do it with all speed. You understand? If we are really one of the children of the Most High God, we have to do what our Father says with speed, right? Let's go to Psalms 37 and 30 real quick.
And it says, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom.
The mouth of the who?
Righteous.
The righteous. The mouth of the righteous speaketh what?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Keep going.
And his tongue talketh of judgment.
You see that? And his tongue talketh of judgment. What we need to speak on, our conversation, our dialogue should be the law of the Most High God. You understand? Doing what the Most High God, or speaking of what the Most High God has done for us, speaking of what the Most High God said that we have to do. You understand? That's the conversations that we should have day by day by day. You understand? Go to Isaiah 51 and 7.
And it says, hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness.
You see that? Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness. Why is it so important that the Most High said, ye that know? Ye that have da'at, ye that have knowledge. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness. Why is that so important? Because if you know righteousness, if you know what the Most High God said to do, and you don't do it, then it's sin. You see that? Let's prove that real quick. Let's go to, to the book. That's why he said, hearken. James chapter 4 and verse 7 says, therefore to him that knoweth. Read what you got again.
It said, hearken unto me, ye that know righteous.
What's the book?
Isaiah 51 and verse 7.
Read it again. Go ahead.
Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness.
Ye that know righteousness. If you know righteousness, if you know, right? If you know what to do, do it. You see what I'm saying? If you know what to do, just do it. Watch this. It says, where was I? James 7 and Salakia, James 4 and 17. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. We praise the Most High. I'm going to show something. I'm going to go to Hebrews real quick. Chapter 6. Excuse me. Hebrews chapter 6. Hebrews chapter 6 says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection. See, what this is saying is, in everything that you do in your life, you're going to have a foundation because you're going to have a start. You have to start everything in your life, right? So everything has a foundation. It says, therefore, leaving the principles. And of course, the foundation consists of the principles of whatever you're doing, right? It says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection. When you first become a child of the Most High God, you're not perfect. You're a proselyte. You don't know exactly what to do. You don't know everything, right? But the Most High God said you can find perfection. You can be perfect in him, right? Watch this. It says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Christ, let us go on unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith toward the Most High. So this is, if you know to keep the Sabbath and you feel like that's important, now learning this knowledge today that it's more than one Sabbath, you need to keep all of them. You see what I'm saying? That's more perfect. You understand? It's good to keep the Sabbath, but it's more than one Sabbath to keep. Watch this. It says, of the doctrine of baptisms and of laying on of hands and of resurrection of the dead and of eternal judgment. Watch this. And this will we do if the Most High permit. So the Most High God is the one that's going to give you the information. Notice the scriptures say, turn at my reproof. Just because I'm saying it, it's not coming from me, it's coming from the Most High God. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It says, and this will we do if the Most High permit. For says, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Ruach Kodesh or Holy Ghost. 5 says, and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come, if they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh and put him to an open shame. So don't shame Christ. If you know the truth, just do it. If you know the truth, just do it. You understand? Mm-hmm. So now we're going to show something. Because people say, well, Paul said, right? People might say, well, Paul said that we don't. Let's show something. Let's go to Acts 13 and 14 real quick.
Acts 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see if Paul was a heathen real quick. Because only heathens don't keep the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You got it?
This is
Acts 13, 14.
okay. And it says, but when they departed from Perga,
Mm-hmm.
they came to Antioch
Mm-hmm.
in Pisidia,
Mm-hmm.
and went unto the synagogue on the Sabbath day.
On the
and
what?
Sat down. The Sabbath day.
On the Sabbath day?
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday?
No.
On the Sabbath day?
Yes.
Okay, on the Sabbath day. Okay. Keep going.
And sat down.
Mm-hmm.
And after the reading of the law.
And after the reading of the Torah?
Mm-hmm.
On the Sabbath?
Yes.
What? Keep going.
And the prophets, the rulers of the synagogue, sent unto them, saying, Ye men and brethren, if ye have any word of exhortation for the people, say on.
Meaning if you want to teach them something, keep going.
Say on.
Say on.
Then Paul stood up.
On the Sabbath. Keep going.
And beckoning with his hand, said, Men of Israel, and ye that fear the Most High, give audience.
There you go. Go to Acts 13 and 42. Let's see. Maybe he went to church on Sunday right here. Let's see.
Come on now.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
This is Acts 13 and 42.
Let's see.
And it says, And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath.
The next what?
The next Sabbath.
On Sunday?
No.
Oh, the next Sabbath. Oh, okay. Now, let's go to Acts 18 real quick. And it says, Acts 18 and 1 says, After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. 3 says, And because he was of the same craft, he abode with them and wrought, meaning he worked with them because they did the same thing, as it pertains to, profession. For by their occupation, they were tent makers. 4 says, And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath. That's what it says. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks. You see that? So now, somebody might say, well, you know what? You got me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to keep all those other Sabbaths. You didn't prove that, right? Well, let's prove it. Let's go to Acts 18 real quick. You got it? Acts 18?
Yeah.
Go to Acts 18 and 19. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because, and The reason why I'm putting a light on Shaul is because so many people try to use him, and they say, well, you know, Paul didn't do it, so I don't got to do it. Paul definitely kept the Shabbat holy. Go ahead.
This is Acts 18 and 19.
And the fact that he kept one of the Sabbaths, right? He kept all of them. Go ahead. Watch this.
And he came to Ephesus and left them there. But he himself entered into the synagogue
Right.
and reasoned with the Jews. When they desired,
Go ahead.
when they desired him to tarry longer time with them, he consented not.
He consented not. That means he what? He didn't do
He
it.
didn't want to do it. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. Keep going.
But bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means.
Hold on. He said, I what?
I must.
I must. Keep going.
By all means.
By all means, meaning however he can do it. Keep going.
Keep this feast.
Keep the what?
This feast.
This feast. Okay. Another Sabbath. Keep going.
That cometh in Jerusalem.
Read it one more time.
I must by all means.
By all means.
Keep this feast.
Keep this feast.
That cometh in Jerusalem.
That cometh in Jerusalem. Absolutely.
Okay, read it.
No, that's okay. So the thing about it is, the Most High God put it on my heart to show that before Christ was holiness, after Christ must be holiness. You understand? We must be more holy now because Christ taught us how to do it. Why would we put down the doctrine, right, when truthfully Christ is the doctrine because he's the word? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to show something real quick. I'm going to go to the Apocrypha. This is 1 Esdras 5. And I'm going to go to 52. It says, and after that, the continual oblations and the sacrifices of the Sabbaths, you see? Plural, not Sabbath, Sabbaths. And of the new Komash, or Brit Komash, it says new moons, and of the holy feast. And all they that had made any vow to the Most High began to offer sacrifices to the Most High from the first day of the 7th month, although the temple of the Most High was not yet built. You see that? They kept doing it. They kept on doing it. They kept doing what the Most High told them to do. Circumstances might have been a little different. They might have been in a different place, but they still kept the Sabbath, and they still kept on with the holiness. They kept themselves separate from the Gentiles at that time. They kept themselves separate from the things that the heathens did, is what I should have said. Let's go to, I'm going to go to Ezra real quick. We almost done. Hold on. If you want, Ezra, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Ezra 6 and 21.
Okay. And it says, and the children of Israel.
Notice what it says. The children of who?
Israel.
Israel. Keep going.
Which were come out of captivity.
Which will come out of captivity.
And all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of heathen, right?
Yeah,
of the heathen. Of the land, to seek the Most High of Israel, did eat.
Did eat,
And kept the feast of unleavened bread.
And kept the feast of what?
Unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread. Read it one more time. Read the whole thing.
Okay.
So it's saying the children of Israel that separated themselves from the heathenistic ways of Rome, of the places or the place that they were in. They kept doing what they had learned. You understand? Keep going.
Okay. And the children of Israel, which were come out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Most High of Israel, did eat and keep the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For the Most High had made them joyful, and turned their hearts of the king of Ezra unto them. Assyria unto them.
And see, excuse me. And see, the thing about it is, That's a wonderful understanding, because if you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, go to Isaiah 58. If you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High will set you up high. Even if people hate you, right, they'll still give unto you, because they will do what the Most High tell them to do. You see what I'm saying? The one thing about it is, notice, the Torah says that if you don't keep my laws, statutes, and commandments, he will let you go over to the heathen, and he will let the heathen reign over you. You see what I'm saying? The heathen is going to be there regardless. But if you do what the Most High God will tell you to do, the Most High God will tell the heathen how to deal with you. You understand? Watch this. Go ahead.
And it says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight.
So this is saying if you turn, right, meaning be different, right? Keep going.
The holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words.
Then what?
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High.
Right.
And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth.
Right.
And feed thee with the heritage of Jacob, thy father. For the mouth of the Most High has spoken it.
Right. So just like what I was saying before, the Most High God blessed the ones, even in their captivity, he blessed them. And had the king of Assyria and, all the kings that were under that they were under to give unto them, to give them the things that they needed. You understand? Even though they were in their captivity, even though they were in their punishment, the Most High God still blessed them and allowed the kings over them to treat them good. You understand? Go to Isaiah 66.
Okay. This is Isaiah 66 and 21 through 23. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites,
Right.
saith the Most High.
Speaking of the people that keep his laws, right? Keep going.
For as the new heavens and the new earth,
The new heaven and the new earth. Keep going.
which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Most High. So shall your seed and your name remain.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that for one new moon to another,
That-
and from one Sabbath to another,
From one what?
new moon, and from one Sabbath.
One Sabbath to another. You see that? From one Sabbath to another. What's going to happen?
Shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
You see that? All flesh. You see that? Read it one more time. Read it one more time.
From 23 or 21?
21.
Okay. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Most High. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
That's it. That's proven. Precept upon precept. We have proven. Number one, you got to keep the Shabbat holy. But there's more than one Sabbath. Everyone needs to read Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. It shows you all the Sabbaths, all the feasts. But there's more than one Sabbath, and if you're keeping the Sabbath holy now, you need to keep all the Sabbaths. If not, then you're in sin. All right?